here we are. We're back. So, tonight we have a new house for Rachna. We have a special guest that will be eaten. And we have some exciting information. Yeah. So, let's get started. Rachna was getting a little bit, we had her in such a petri dish before. Very small, clear. This one's taped because I had caught unsuccessfully a booklouse that kind of squished it. And so it was taped in here so it wouldn't escape. There it is. Gives you an example. But Rachna, I thought, was getting a little bit too big for such a small petri dish. And we gone ahead and got her a lovely box. So it's clear, it's a nice acrylic box. I think it might be used for jewelry, but she's a precious gem. So she gets a nice new home. And since we're starting to remove some of the Christmas stuff, there's some dried out Christmas bush or from the wreath. So we took that and we put it in here as well because we knew that we found her on part of the Christmas tree, and or we at least assumed she came from the Christmas tree. So she's been put back in and she is quite happy and plays on here. And so let me go into a little bit about Rachna. So as we know so far, give a little recap. Here, we put her under here. And then earlier this evening, I was able to successfully capture a second booklouse. Let's make sure that that's on. Helps if we put our microscope over to here. We are processing depending on where you're from. There we go. Ta-da! And we're going to put that into focus. Here we are. Guess whose legs are in the corner? It's Rachna. Rachna, come on down. Show us your new home. So it has a very slippery walls, so she cannot climb up them, which gives me solace. Let me move the light so it's a little bit easier to see her. We'll give, because we've spent a couple of days kind of talking about Rachna and her feeding habits and such, I think now that she's in a new home, we can kind of talk a little bit about Rachna and where she would be in a normal environment, not this beautiful glass box on the Upper East Side. Western Lynx Spiders, here she is, I'll put her into focus now that she's sitting nicely for us here, are not web-dwelling spiders. They are, I'm going to butcher their proper scientific name, but it is Oxyopes scalaris. They are a bush-dwelling or tree-dwelling spider that lives and waits in small bushes and shrubs and on trees, and they kind of wait in hiding for their prey and their victims. Let me just put her here. Might be that she walks out of sight, but that's okay. And they don't build a web like you would see to capture their flies and such as they eat. They lay in waiting or in hiding like this, and they tend to stalk their prey, and they rely on their agility and their stealth. She becomes quite stealthy, especially when she's on brown, to catch their prey. And so they wait in low-lying vegetation and forests and grass and deserts. And then when a prey that they want to eat comes along, they jump on it very quickly. And they can jump several times their body length, and they pounce on a unsuspecting victim. And when they have that victim, we've seen it over the last couple of days, whether it's a booklouse or even a moth, or what else did we feed her? We fed her a moth, booklice, and thrips. She tends to secure it with her legs, and then she flips it over, and when she's either crushing it with her legs, they are quite strong, or she punctures its body, its exoskeleton, multiple times, and that allows her to create venom, to push venom into the prey, and that kind of paralyzes the prey as well. So then we're going to see, she's kind of hiding here in the corner. Let's see, that's maybe slightly better for her. Then we have, as soon as I get her, she wants to walk away. There we go. So the star of the show is wandering. So once she has a prey and she gets it into position, and we've seen her over the last days kind of move that prey into position where she has flipped it and rotated it, she punctures it, and then she starts filling it with digestive enzymes, and then she puts it into this, and it's kind of a cocktail of hydrolases and support proteins that help to break down the prey's tissue. And so these digestive enzymes that she pushes into the prey, we've said that they liquefy the inside of the prey itself. I know she's out of focus here. But not only that, as we showed yesterday, there was this nice picture that we had of the two different types of extra oral digestion, where that's a digestion that happens outside of the body. What we have is in the Western Lynx Spider is called refluxing digestion, and that's kind of like what the cow does. They vomit back up, so they digest a bit, they spew this enzyme. We'll show you that picture again. They spew this enzyme into the prey, and then they digest it a little bit, and then they regurgitate it back out, and then they redigest it and digest it, and then the process goes over and over and over again. We'll try to get that picture up a little later, but we did reference it yesterday. And so that process goes over and over and over again until she has fully digested her prey, and that happens with I think I almost have her here. Oh, she jumped. So she liquefies them, and she sucks it out and regurgitates it, and then the last step of digestion actually happens inside the spider's gut. So they take the reabsorption of this liquefied prey smoothie and the nutrients from that, and it occurs inside the microgut cells called through a process called pinocytosis, and that's where they break down in the midgut and consume the prey while providing essential nutrients for growth and development back into the spider's body. And so it's really remarkable how they do it, and they do it efficiently, and they can do it in their environment on their time frame, and then they essentially leave the gut, leave everything of the prey that they can't digest to the wayside. So let's see where our spider is hiding, because she is in here. And I would like to, there she is. Put her here. Let's focus her in. There she is right there. Pretty and peachy. You can see around her she's got some very, very thin thread that she's produced, and that helps her to sense her prey. And we'll walk right into it. You can see it's kind of glowing in the light off of her arms. And I'm going to try, she's quite active in here, which is great. But I'm going to try getting, I'm going to move, maybe I move her. Let's see if I can show while I move before I move her. Here's our booklouse. See if I can put that into view first. Remember we found this one on the windowsill again, and I have to say I opened the window It doesn't want to play either. There it is. I opened the window to find the booklouse, and I looked out at the track of where the window goes up, and I saw the biggest spider there. It was the size of a grape, and I thought, Rachna will never meet that spider, but it is clearly getting fat on our lovely booklouse here, on our booklice. So they are clearly nutritious feed. I have a feeling that spider would eat Rachna in a heartbeat. So just to recap, Rachna does jump quite a bit, and she's quite fast. And I will scream like a little girl if the booklice gets out onto me, or Rachna does. I will try to get the booklouse into here and Rachna to stay in her little enclosure without killing the booklouse or Rachna or screaming and waking everybody up. And this is a nice little container because it's quite hard to take the lid off, which is great if you're scared about spiders leaving their enclosure. And now we might have to be a little bit more patient with, well, I don't see a booklouse in there, do you? Not me. Let's have a look under some light here. I don't see anything. Now, let's see if we can find it in here. Because we know we put it in here, but we dropped it right on the plant. There's Rachna. Now that I've seen that thing, kind of make your head itch. All right, let's go hunting, shall we? Let's see what we have here. Now, the booklice are great at crawling and climbing. And let's see how it is to feed Rachna here in such an enclosure. There she is waiting. Does she already have it, or no? There's a nice pretty picture of her little eyes. It's a good summary. Those are Rachna's front little eyes. She has a very abnormal eye structure for spiders. I know we've mentioned that a few times, that she has a very small set of eyes on the bottom, and then 6 kind of more in a vertical shape, pardon me, above her. So there's those 2 little ones. I guess that helps to look at your prey. The prey that we cannot find in here so far. I really was quite certain that I got it in. And as they're fast, I think we will eventually see it walking around. I don't think I smushed it. Let's at least put Rachna into focus while we wait. She is. So you can see she's quite small. Those are the pine needles from a Christmas tree. I can't remember the type of tree we got, so it was a good one. Lasted a long time. But there she is, and so you can see how tiny she is in comparison to a needle of that tree. I am moving it around a little bit to see if that booklouse jumps out at us, or if it too is hiding. Arachnida's doing a great job of hanging out upside down. Here she is upside down. Change the light a little bit so you can see a bit more. Oh, there we go. But I have to say, don't know where that little booklouse went. And she definitely does not have it, but I said that last time. And then she ended up getting it before we found it. So maybe we'll be lucky this time. There she's hanging out on her nest, on her web that she's made. So we've learned a lot about Rachna in the last couple of days of having a spider at our house. So I really don't see the booklouse. And they do use, so the Western Lynx Spider does use odor from insects to go to the spot on trees and such that have the most amount of odor of insects. It's the new perfume by Coco Chanel. And so she usually goes around there. Really, I don't see that thing at all. No. I guess a booklouse I can deal with in my house if we like to. Better than the spider. Ah, there's our, we have the ability to post that picture now. So that was the, this is the picture we were talking about of the extraoral digestion. And these are all by Joe McGowan out of the Mississippi University. And so this top one is non-refluxing extraoral digestion, and the bottom one is refluxing extraoral digestion. This is the type of extraoral digestion that spider, like the Western Lynx Spider Rachna, does. She spews out this enzyme and then digests it, and then regurgitates it, and then digests it again until she's ready with her proteins to finish that final step in her midgut, like we said. Wow. It seems we don't have a booklouse. It's kind of not as much fun, but it's better than not having a spider. Always stay positive. Let's see if we can zoom in on her a little bit. She doesn't seem to have anything in her mouth. It could also very well be hiding in, oh, there it is. It's on the back here, running around on the leaves. Gotta zoom out and let's see where we can find it and show you. They are fast. It is running on the tip here. Oops, did you see it? Are your eyes as good as mine? Now it's underneath. And it is walking on every single piece. It is in there. Rachna is right there. That's all I can zoom out. They will meet, whether they meet on camera, we don't know. So you can see when I pull up to focus on Rachna a little bit more, the light changes a little bit on her. See where that thing went. Whoop, did you see her jump? Maybe you couldn't. Should be nice. little hop. Let's see. It's around here somewhere. And she sprung onto something. She doesn't seem to have anything in her mouth. Because of how high that leaf is, I can't focus on her in depth in that field of view because the proximity of the working space. But as you saw, she did jump, and that's because the leaves on each other are so highly stacked here that I'm not able to, one landed on the other, and so I'm not able to change the view. Maybe she jumps again for us here. She is jumping at something. There she is. There we go. So let's see. I'm amazed over the last days. I mean, I move her quite a bit, and she's still, I move her when we're on camera quite a bit, and she's still able to capture her prey. But it must be, the microscope can sometimes be quite loud, and I guess us moving the glass or sitting is quite loud. Let's see if she jumps this way. I don't know where the booklouse went again. Let's see while we wait for Rachna to find it, if we can find it first. I'm going to shift this just a little bit so that the leaf is a little bit lower in case she tries to eat something off of that leaf. Okay, so the booklouse is right in front of her. Oops, sorry. There's the booklouse. There's Rachna. Let's get up and get the booklouse into focus. They do move quite quickly. There it is. I'm just going to follow the booklouse. Try to stay in focus. So you can see they're quite, oh, there it is. Quite fast. There it is. It's a waiting game. There's the booklouse. See, they are quite good climbers. I don't like them. Who would? Rachna. Rachna would. So let's see here. Rachna is cold, slowly walking on the same way as the booklouse. Will she? There's our booklouse. Let's see here. Rachna is on this side. There's the booklouse down there. Rachna is on top of the same leaf. Oh, it's on the move. Rachna's on the other corner of the booklouse. That's no fun. I guess that's one of the complications of having a slightly larger enclosure with more places to hide and only one booklouse. I thought about trying to catch a second one, but I thought it's also a lot of, I think I'm running out of booklouse, which is kind of a good problem to have, I guess. I don't find them. I just looked a couple of times today on the windowsill and I did not find them. So, well. It's happily walking around. Oh, look at that. Does Rachna see it? Has she noticed it? That was close. I'm not going to move it too much in case that booklouse comes into focus or Rachna's focusing on it. Because I would like to be able to see how she actually stalks her prey, as she's known to do. So that's as far as I can zoom out. I just need that booklouse, which is now actually on the other side of the enclosure from Rachna, walking apart on the glass, to go to her. So it's walking underneath, over here it is on the glass, and she's right there, obviously. So let's see if we can observe friendship in the making. Rachna. Booklouse. Where's the booklouse now? Probably in a similar spot than it was before. One would think. Well, at least it's not on my living room, which is comforting for me to know. I am not a big fan of them. So we know that, while we wait here, some fun tidbits. We learned yesterday also that spiders can live on a primarily liquid, they liquefy their food, so they eat a liquid diet. The other thing is that they can go for a long period of time without food because of that liquid diet. Let me put her into focus here. And that some spiders in this similar Oxyopes family, which includes the Western Lynx Spider, will not eat while guarding their eggs, and often actually die of starvation as a result. So they can survive potentially weeks or even months without food, depending on obviously how big they are and their age, and if they were healthy and had, you know, good living conditions to begin with. and were well taken care of. If they had any of the parasites or fungi or what's the other thing that we talked about? It wasn't. We learned about them yesterday. Ptosis. Oops, there she's jumping at something. There was a word we learned yesterday. My memory fails me right now. It will come to me. It was it wasn't a fungus. It was the same family as algae and other microscopic organisms that can infect the spider when they consume it. And it was, oh, if it were a test I would be failing. It'll come to me. It's at the tip of my tongue. Oh, there's our booklouse. Right behind Rachna, walking up and down here. Getting its exercise on these, each individual leaf. I have to say this is probably one of the luckier booklouse of the two because it's lasted probably the longest, given the fact that there's some foliage you can hide in. It just makes you realize that Rachna's environment that we had her in, where we were giving her only this one small little leaf in her enclosure, wasn't any reflection on reality. Because we've got 3 little tiny leaves here, or Christmas tree branches, and they're probably the size of my finger, and she hasn't found that booklouse as of yet. So I think that's probably a more accurate picture of how long a spider can go without eating. And those things are called protists. That's what it was, protists. Like protest, but protist. There we go. Now it's climbing, and I've got that branch too high. Oh, where are they? Are they close to one another? Of course, on the highest branch. Darn it. Maybe it'll climb down to safety. Because it's too high up for me, if it's up that high. So anyway, I think that this is more of an accurate depiction of how nature is for both spider and booklouse. That I'm just trying to flip this around here, so it's a little lower. So the booklouse is on this side of my jar. It's facing me, and they're about 1.5 inches apart. Let's see. So I think that's a more accurate picture. Come on, I need to be faster with rolling this. For at least for Rachna. She's over here. Oops, right there. And our booklouse is somewhere in there. Around here somewhere. Lucky thing, it's lived this long. It's the longest living booklouse in Rachna's enclosure. So I have to say, this is a very fun kind of tool that we're using, this SMZU Nikon, there it is, microscope. It is from the mid-90s, or early 90s, I should say. Ta-da, there it is. You can find them on eBay. Check your reputable source first before you decide to just purchase any old one off of eBay. They are great. And we have that Sony A6000 camera that we bought as well for it. And we 3D printed a ring that helps attach the camera into the camera port. There's Rachna jumping at stuff, and we're projecting it on some OBS software, and that allows us to stream and also for us to look at what we're looking at here in the microscope. It's a really cool tool. So we've got kids, and it is it's awesome to show them a different perspective of the world that they live in, and they can find things that they want to look at under a microscope. Something like hair is also quite interesting to look at, or they can go on a hike and they pick these flowers for us that we found out all about thrips, and it's given us quite some entertainment when looking at Rachna under the microscope. And so it just really changes your perspective about the world that you live in. So it's really, if you're thinking about getting a microscope and you can invest in a slightly better one, then you should really research it, and it's a really cool thing to do. So we have come across a really cool website. It's called Table Grape Spider ID, and it's from the Identification Technology Project. And let me just make sure she's in focus here in case she grabs at something. And there she is. Look at her. You can actually see her claws there in the front. Her fangs that she eats with. And it is, I just want to make sure I'm focusing on her in case she does go for something. It is about identifying spiders and stopping the exportation of Western spiders or spiders, California spiders, to Australia and New Zealand. They have enough spiders, and some really big ones too. So that's what that website does, and the Western Lynx Spider is on that website. So it is really great. It's Table Grape ID, Spider ID, and you can identify various species of California spiders. And how all about them. This one in particular is about the Western Lynx Spider, or Oxyopes scalaris, and then that's a nice one. It must be Rachna's cousin. So that's a male one. Those are those pedillets, those little boxing gloves. That's clearly a male because of those boxing gloves in the front of the face. And males will use those to signal that they want to mate, because they'll just move them around to attract the female. That seems to be some sort of egg sac under a microscope. That's actually female spider genitalia. You should have blurred that out. And then you have, the various pictures of the male genitalium from the lateral view. Then you have compared to the grape, hence table grape, to see how big those spiders are and what they look like. And so ours is not as big as a grape, but she is there. She is trying to jump. And so that is a really cool website if you find spiders in California, that you can identify what type of spiders you have and ensure that it kind of stops the spread of them to Australia and New Zealand. That's the hexagonal eye pattern we can show. It looks like the things nightmares are made of. And that obviously looks like one without hair. I don't know if we're having so much luck finding a spider and a best friend tonight. I haven't seen the booklouse. It's been a hot minute. Let's see if you guys can find it. I don't. So the Western Lynx Spider, if we recall, there is not a quiz, is part of the Lynx Spider family, and they have roughly 18 or so different relatives to the Western Lynx, or there are 18 types of lynx spiders, if my memory serves me properly. And it is throughout California. Oh, there's a louse. Oh, that's nice. Will our spider move towards the louse that is climbing up the side here? Most likely, probably. Okay, so there's Rachna. If she would only go to that corner, then she would. Whoop! Did you see it? She's got it, and she's got it in her mouth, and she's fast and she's still. So she has the louse in her mouth. It is not fighting back. Let's see if she'll let us stay a little bit more clear here. See, she's got it. She's punctured a hole in it, and she's feeding it full of venom at the moment. That is probably a really good shot. And look at that. We were very lucky tonight that we finally got something. Whoops, dropped the spider. There she is. Picked a nice spot for us. It is clearly moving. And when so is Rachna. There, she's adjusting it to where she wants it. And then she's just gonna, she punctured it, I guess, a couple of times. And then she's going to, there it is, right there. She's going to push that, put those digestive enzymes into the abdomen and into the bug itself. There she's starting. You can see it's pumping up, and then she will suck the booklouse as well. There she is here. She's got her. She's working hard. And she's going to reflux extra oral digestion the crap out of this little booklouse. Oh, you can see it. Let's see if we can zoom in. Do you see how the booklouse is, the juices are flowing into the booklouse's abdomen, and then they're being pushed, sucked back as well. Let's see if we can get even closer. There we go. And we'll try to move her down without moving. That's better. Let's see. That's the bottom. Fine tune focus. Here we go. And she's probably sucking it in. That's the abdomen of the booklouse. And with Rachna's arm. Oops, here we go. Let's see if we can, there's Rachna holding on to it. There's the legs of the booklouse. I would love it if we could just see that that enzyme, that she's digestive enzyme being pushed into the booklouse at this time. That would be great. Very exciting. That was the longest we've had a booklouse in the same enclosure with Rachna. Definitely chomping here. Let's see if we can see what she's doing. legs are moving. Let's see if we can push that just a bit. There. That's its abdomen. And let's zoom out. There's Rachna here. She's holding on to the leaf here. And I see some movement. Let's see if we can watch that little white spot, if that white spot in the middle of her, of its abdomen flushes away. They kind of look like an empty eggshell, these little booklouse. After they've been digested, they're really just empty. And it's just the shell, the outer hard shell that's left, along with some legs. Let's see. I don't see too much movement as of yet. Maybe it was fighting back still. So there's Rachna's body. There are these like minor vibrations that are happening that she's doing. She's definitely chomping. And we kind of positioning her mouth. You can see that here a little bit. She's chewing. The moth that we had put in with her the other day in her other enclosure, she digested that, and for a good 5 minutes or so after she was finished with it, let's zoom in here, its legs were still twitching. So whether that was, I don't think there was too much left of that moth anyways, that could have been in control of that movement. I also don't see anything here. Let's see how far we can zoom out. So there she is eating her booklouse in all her glory. Now that we have, now that she's eating, I won't flip her over like I did in the last petri dish when it was just her and one of her prey. I don't think that would be fair. She's unsuspectingly chomping on something, and then, you know, a tree branch falls on her head and she's upside down. Yeah. I didn't feed Rachna yesterday either. She had eaten the moth the day before. And that was almost the size of her body, if not bigger. Let's see if we can zoom in here and see what's going on. I think it's our angle. Let's see if we can turn her. I'm trying to be very gentle when I turn her so that we don't lose track of Rachna. Let's see if I can move her into focus. I'm probably going to disturb her. And that doesn't give us any more information. Maybe turning her this way does. So yes, I didn't feed her yesterday because I think that moth was pretty big. You could see after she had eaten, though, her lower abdomen was quite full. She looked like she had been to a buffet. Could have used some stretchy bands. You can see here on the head, she's kind of nibbling. I am moving as well a little bit, but can see this minute movements that she's doing. It's quite fascinating. Zoom out a little bit. Let's see what else I can get for an angle. Without her moving. There she is. So don't want too much reflection. Zooming in. Dive, dive, dive. Here we go. Nope. We're not going that way. We're going this way. No, I can't get this angle because of the reflection. She's watching. She's always watching. Whoops. Knock the whole spider enclosure. Hard to see. There we go. Let's see if that's better. Nope. So you would think with such a spider, they also are used to a little bit of movement, like swaying trees or such. Did she move for us in a better way? No. I wanted to go the other way. So you would think she would be used to small movements. Oh, is that better? Do we have a nice view now? Oh, we've got some view. There's our spider, Western Lynx. And here we go. We're going to zoom in here on this little thing that she's got on the side of her. Oh, you can see she is filling it. It's just very hard to see because it is quite small and underneath her. There she's got some legs there. Yeah, really hard to see. It's expanding just a little bit. I have to say that was a big booklouse too. Down to the bottom. All right, let's see what you got. I don't know. Oh, there you can see some expanding. Put that in the middle for you. Some expanding of the booklouse. You can see it had at one point a hard shell. There, it's expanding. She is filling it. Whoops. Hey, we want to see you. Don't be shy. At one point I'll release her back into the wild. I don't think she should be in here. She needs to mate and do spider stuff. There she is. Let's see. That's a nice shot from the side. So there's Rachna's face. There's the booklouse that she's turning around here. In the way that she wants. Here's she, oh no, don't move, it's really nice. It's nice of you to share here. There we go. Oh, you can see it expanding just a little bit. Let's see. So there's her teeth. Look, if you look on the middle of the screen, you'll see that white little dot moving just a little bit. She is using her claws and kind of puncturing it from the side now. And she's got this white dot in the middle down here, and that is the abdomen of the booklouse, and she's regurgitating into that spot and sucking it out and then regurgitating it. You can really see she's pushing the enzymes back into the spider. Oops, and there they go. In through the straw. into the middle. I can't zoom in any closer, unfortunately, with this. I mean, it's pretty fortunate that we are able to see this so big, but I can't zoom in any closer for that view. So there she is. There. And those are the enzymes, and then she's nibbling, and those enzymes are exploding into the middle. She's pushing them, regurgitating them out. You can see that she's also sucking them back in. And nibbling quite a bit. It's really, she's given us quite a spectacular angle to watch this at, but it's really also amazing to see in nature, or in our, quasi-nature environment, that this actually happens on a regular basis and we don't see it at all. The wonderful things a microscope can give you. I would have never known so much about spiders had it not been for this. It's really spectacular to watch her nibble and crunch and fill this little bug with enzymes and digest it right in front of you. It's quite a small bug too, and it still takes her quite some time to go through it. And I think they must also give a lot of moisture and liquid to Rachna. Stay hydrated. You can see there's like little glistening. Don't move on this. See how fast it goes. So Rachna's nice legs. Just move just a little bit. That her front leg here is she's not on the bottom. What is that? I guess I can just flip this box upside down. Won't be fooled by a spider. Ha ha ha. Alright, there's, push this piece. That's a nice shot. So there she has the booklouse in her hand. I really actually like that shot too. Because you can very easily see it's a spider. She has the booklouse there in her hands at the top, her little arms. She has her fangs out and into those two darker spots going down from her little white mustache. She's just very agile in when she moves it around and adjusts the booklouse here between those nice claws. Isn't that fascinating? That's also another really great view from Rachna. She is on the upside down. Well, now she's right side up, but look how with ease she can just roll that thing over. Oops, sorry, that was me rolling her over. Hang there, move around the bug, and still eat. Those are her fangs here that she's using to eat that little tiny bug there. Oh, she's gonna move. Look at that. She's moving it around, adjusting it for the way she wants to walk around, turning her back to us. And then that's it. She's not giving us much more of a show. I think what we'll do here, because we've gotten, see she's hiding under a leaf now. We've gotten all from Arachna that we could tonight. We were very lucky that we actually found her. I think we'll just finish off with letting her have the rest of her meal in peace. Because that's, or pieces, because that's what it's come down to. And it's coming up to an hour now. And so I think this is a great time to sign off. That was really a nice recap session for us. Learning so much about spiders, or the Western Lynx Spider. All right, hopefully we'll find something else for her to eat tomorrow. Till then, see you later.